The sun peeked over the East River, buildings blazed with the reflected light. A new day was starting in New York City. The streets were already alive, yellow cabs darted through traffic, people rushed to work. The air buzzed with energy. This was the city that never sleeps. It relied on an army of unseen workers. The rhythm of the city was relentless. Every day brought new challenges, yet the city's heart beat strong. It was kept alive by the dedication of its people. These were the unsung heroes of New York. They worked tirelessly behind the scenes. They kept the city running smoothly. From the sanitation workers to the traffic controllers, everyone played a part. They ensured the city's complex machinery kept moving. Every cog was important. They were the backbone of New York, and they took pride in their work. Emily Rodriguez was one of them. She was the Director of Public Services for New York City. A tough job, a demanding job, but Emily thrived on it. She loved her city and she was passionate about serving its people. Emily's day began before sunrise. Coffee was her fuel, her phone was her lifeline. She checked her messages, emails flooded her inbox. The city never really slept, neither did Emily. She was the conductor of a complex orchestra. Each instrument played a vital role. She scanned the reports, the subway was running smoothly, sanitation was on schedule. Parks and recreation were preparing for the day's crowds. Everything seemed in order. But Emily knew better than to expect a quiet day. This was New York City, and anything could happen. Emily's office buzzed with activity. Assistants scurried around, phones rang constantly. Emily sat at her desk. The city stretched out before her like a giant map. She reviewed reports, made calls, and met with her team. She was a whirlwind of energy. She met with Sal, the head of sanitation, that morning. Sal was a big bear of a man with a heart of gold. He'd been with the city for over 20 years. He knew the streets like the back of his hand. "Morning, Emily. Everything's running smooth as silk," Sal reported, his voice booming. Next, Emily spoke with Maria, the head of Parks and Recreation. Maria was a whirlwind of energy, always ready with a smile. "We're expecting a big turnout in Central Park today, Emily. The weather's just too good to resist." Finally, Emily caught up with Jake, the city's traffic engineer. Jake was a genius with computers and traffic flow. He could predict bottlenecks before they even happened. "We're keeping an eye on the Brooklyn Bridge, Emily. There's a lane closure that might cause some delays during rush hour." Emily listened intently. She offered guidance. She made decisions. She kept the city running. Emily made her way to a community center in Harlem. She was there to meet Dr. Patel. He ran a free clinic. It served the neighborhood's neediest residents. Emily wanted to thank him personally. Dr. Patel greeted Emily with a warm smile. His eyes crinkled at the corners. "Emily, so good to see you. The city is lucky to have you." "The city is lucky to have you, Dr. Patel," Emily replied, her voice full of sincerity. "You and your team are lifesavers, literally." They discussed the challenges facing the clinic. Funding was tight. The need was great. But Dr. Patel remained optimistic. He believed in the power of community. Emily left feeling inspired. She was surrounded by heroes every day. Back in her office, Emily reviewed plans for a new park in Queens. It was a massive undertaking, but Emily knew how much it would mean to the community. She pored over blueprints and budget reports, negotiated with contractors and city officials. The phone rang. It was Sal. "We've got a situation, Emily." A garbage truck had broken down in Times Square. Tourists were everywhere, and the summer heat wasn't helping. "We're on it, Sal," Emily said calmly. "Get a replacement truck over there as soon as possible, and have someone keep me updated." No problem was too big or too small. Emily tackled them all with the same determination. She was the conductor, and the city was her symphony. As the day wore on, Emily felt a familiar sense of pride. She wasn't on the front lines, she didn't wear a uniform, but she played a vital role in keeping the city safe and running. She thought of Sal, Maria, Jake, and Dr. Patel. They were the heart and soul of New York City. They represented the thousands of public servants who dedicated their lives to the city. Emily was proud to be one of them. The city was a living, breathing organism, and Emily was its pulse, keeping everything in sync. Suddenly, Emily's phone rang. It was the mayor's office. Her heart skipped a beat. These calls were never routine. "Emily, we have a situation." The voice on the other end was urgent. "A major power outage has hit Midtown Manhattan. Traffic lights are down. The subway is at a standstill. We need you to coordinate the city's response." Emily's training kicked in. "I'm on it," she said, her voice calm and steady. The city was facing a crisis, and Emily Rodriguez was ready to lead the charge. The next few hours were a blur of activity. Emily mobilized every available resource. Police officers directed traffic. Firefighters helped evacuate people from stalled subway cars. City workers set up generators to power traffic lights and hospitals. Emily worked tirelessly, coordinating the city's response. She was the calm in the storm. She knew that the city's fate rested on her shoulders, and she wouldn't let them down. Throughout the chaos, Emily saw the best of humanity. Strangers helping strangers, volunteers distributing water and blankets. The spirit of New York City shone through the darkness. As dawn broke, power was restored to the city. The crisis was over. Emily took a deep breath. She felt the weight of the city lift from her shoulders. She had done it. They had all done it. The city that never sleeps had faced another challenge, and it had come through stronger than ever. Emily knew that the city would always face challenges, but she also knew that its people would always be there to meet them. The pulse of the city beat on, fueled by the dedication and compassion of its unsung heroes, and Emily Rodriguez was proud to be one of them.